last quote.
Thank you, Jerry. I mean, this is just confirmation for what I've been saying for the last 6-7 years.
Wow, 6-7 years.
Yeah, because remember, I had the radio show, The Odd Couple, before I joined you.
Yeah, 5 to 7.
Yes.
No, 6 to 9. 6 to 9.
Yeah, 7 to 10, actually. But and I've actually used the term soap opera. Like, this is just proof that Jerry does not view the Cowboys primarily as a football franchise. They are primarily an entertainment enterprise. Mm-hmm. And I've said this before, but you know, we've all gone to see great movies that are sports-based, but they're really not about the sports. They're about the love story or whatever. Yeah, I wasn't the first that came to mind, but Love and Basketball or something like that. Where it's a Bull Durham.
There's a lot.
Bull Durham wasn't about baseball. It was about the love. So the Cowboys are a drama, a controversy in a football setting. That's what they are. And that is great for the bottom line. It's great for business. And that's why the Cowboys, despite having not won a Super Bowl in the last 30 years, are the highest valued franchise in American sports. Baseball, basketball, they are the highest. And so it's great for that, but it's terrible for football because it creates distractions. What coaches don't want are unnecessary distractions. And that's what Jerry is constantly creating. Look at all the great winners, the Chiefs now, the Patriots, the Steelers in the NFL, whether it's the Lakers or some team in the Spurs in the NBA. Like, if there might be drama, but it's drama based on the game. When Shaq and Kobe had their drama, it hurt the team. Right? Yep. And so this is he just summed up what he and they are all about, and it's great for money, but it's terrible if you want to win Super Bowls.
So I want to take it maybe a step further because, listen, you have been saying this for years, and I don't think you're the only person who has made this point, but I think you're the only person I know of that this has been your main point about the Cowboys. I think everybody's acknowledged Jerry likes to be, you know what I mean, in the mix. But you have talked about back a couple of years ago when I was picking them to make the Super Bowl because I liked the roster, about the silliness associated with the team. And so I thought about that when I was listening to this quote because I tried to square that with the fact that Jerry, this past offseason, did something very, very specific and a major decision that decreased buzz, that made them less of a circus or a sideshow or less attention, and that is his head coach pick. He could have picked Bill Belichick, which would have been a massive story, and instead he picked as anonymous of a head coach as one could get in Brian Schottenheimer. And I thought about why is that? And so this is what I'm saying I want to kind of add to it. It's not just that the Cowboys are a soap opera. It's that he has to be the star.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not just that we need the attention, but I need to be the main character of this movie.
I'm so confused right now. Why are they having a conversation right now about the Dallas Cowboys like this is new information? Like this is a new... Like even Nick, I thought Nick was going to say something like pretty interesting. And he was just like, Jerry needs to be the star. We've known that for years. I don't even... This was established like 20 plus years ago. Like I don't even... Of course he was never going to hire Bill Belichick because Bill Belichick is his own brand. He's his own football force. That's why he hires these, you know, his last 3 coaching hires have been hires that are like, you know, not really the face of a franchise. Like I'm there's nothing new here. We've known this forever. I mean, it's crazy, though, that Jerry Jones straight up said, hey, having great players is good and stuff, but, like, you know, if there's controversy, I'll need to stir it up. You know, like, even controversy is good because it gets eyes on it. Like, he is absolutely undeniably saying the quiet part out loud. Like, that's the new thing, I guess, that he's straight up saying, yes, all of the things that you thought that I do and how I operate is right. He's like, I operate like social media, man. I'm here to just get people to click and watch, and I'm ready to say wild takes like the Chicago Bears are going to the Super Bowl. The Kansas City Chiefs are going undefeated. The Philadelphia Eagles won't even make the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback in the NFL. I could do it all day. Dak Prescott's going to win the MVP. And, like, that's how Jerry Jones runs his franchise. Because it's a business and he makes an insane amount of money. And, you know, it's not always about winning. I'd never be able to find the clip, but I referenced it a handful of times. It was the old Speak for Yourself with, like, Marcellus Wiley and Witt and stuff. And, you know, he was having a conversation with Mark Schlereth. He was on the show, and Mark was like, it's all about winning a ring. And, like, Marcellus Wiley was like, it's not like that for all. He's like, I respect that it was like that for you, but it's not like that for everyone. He's like, for me, and he admitted, he's like, for me, it wasn't. It was like, I needed to get as much money as I could, man. I grew up absolutely poor. My whole family's poor. My family's poor. Like, for generations, my family will continue to be poor. I got this opportunity to make money and change the entire past, present, and future of my entire family lineage. Like, I got to go out and get the money, man. That is what I have to do. And I respect that honesty. And there's plenty of players that are like, I got to make money. And there's owners that are like, yeah, it's great to own this team and I want to win rings, but, like, money's important to me. And it's just, you know, and also just being wanted and needed. And when you have that much money and that much power, it really is, right? No man should have all that power. Like, it's just, things get weird. And credit to Colin, he's talked about this a lot, where he always talks about, like, athletes who are, like, if they're single and they're really wealthy and, you know, there's no one there to keep them in check, like, he's just talked about, like, things kind of just typically get weird. And you just, you know, when you have all that money and power, you're just like, I literally can do what I want. Like, how many of us just truly want to do whatever we want? And now imagine, like, actually legitimately not only having the power to do what you want, but then, like, the power to control others and the power to use that power to make even more money by having power. I mean, like, it's just, it's kind of hard to comprehend. I mean, I did the math before with Jerry Jones. I mean, because it's not just about money. Like, it's also power. You could be really rich and not have power. You can be fame and not have power. You can have fame and not be all that rich. Like, he's got it all. And when you, like, do the math for him, it's like, when they were talking about, like, buyouts, when they were talking about potentially trying to maybe hire Deion Sanders, and they were saying, oh, you know, buyouts, and, like, the amount of money they would have to pay him, it was like $5 million or whatever it was. And when you, like, do the math, it's like, it was like a $5 tip. I don't even think it was that. It was like a 5-cent tip for someone if they had, like, $100,000 in their bank account. And, you know, it was just like nothing. It was a fart in the wind. And it was just like, that's the type of person that you're dealing with here. And it's levels. Because Jerry Jones is worth, like, what is it, like 80 billion or something? You know, let me see real fast. 16 billion. I was off by like 70 billion. 16 billion. Think about how when we talk about someone, how much money $1 billion is, right? If you're worth like $1 billion, you have an insane amount of wealth. Like, you are it's just, you can't even comprehend it. Now double that. That's $2 billion. You have twice the amount of wealth that $1 billion is so massive, so insane, so next level. You literally can, with that amount of money, you can literally do whatever you want. Now you just double it. Now you have double that insane amount of worth. And now double it again. And then double it again. I mean, like, it's really hard to, like, actually comprehend. And now you have all that wealth and you own the most popular team in the most popular sport, in the most popular league in America. And when comparing it to the world, also, like, I think the Cowboys are considered like top when you like factor in like, soccer teams and stuff like that. Like it's just you're just talking about like just global like just massive amounts of power and fame and control. I mean, like it's so hard to comprehend. Now you're starting to get older and you're not firing at all cylinders and you have all of this. Like it's actually pretty breathtaking. And it's actually in a way it's actually kind of cool to be able to like get a front row seat to be like, because I'm never going to know what it's like to have $16 billion and own the Dallas Cowboys. The closest I can get to that is watching Jerry Jones. And luckily he just keeps talking. So we get to kind of see like, how's he thinking? Like, how's he doing it? And it's honestly, from an entertainment perspective and just a psychological perspective, it's fascinating. If you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, it's awful. And you're just like, please, can Jerry Jones's son be better? Like, please have a better head on your shoulders. Like, please, when Jerry is unfortunate, when he's moved on, like, please just be run like an actual football team needs to be run. But like, who honestly actually knows? But the way how this operates is just like, it's kind of crazy. And it's interesting to me, and listen, I'm not a mega billionaire, so like, I don't know. But I'm like, it's like, I want to win. I want to conquer. But I do get it, because you could be the owner of the Cleveland Browns and you can win a couple Super Bowls, right? You could win 2 Super Bowls over the course of like 12 years, 15 years, which is like technically respectable in the NFL, right? Like you're not winning a Super Bowl every other year here. So like if within a 15 window you win 2 Super Bowls, like that's in the NFL world, like that's considered very successful, right? But like I'm still only worth like $1 billion, $2 billion. There's a great argument to make that the vast majority of owners, pretty much every single owner minus maybe like a couple, would be like, give me no Super Bowls and give me another $15 billion and make me the most popular team in the NFL and make me have the most massive fan base. I'll take that over a couple Super Bowls. And like Jerry Jones just like doesn't apologize about it. He's like, yeah, man, this is what I'm doing. I got my rings. And I'm going to keep trying to win. I'm going to win my way. And if we win, that's great. No one's going to check me. I got money. I got power. Like what else do I need? My team's pretty consistently competitive. All right. I mean, think about it. Think about Kraft and the Patriots. And think about Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. It's just like, the fame's not even close. The popularity's not even close. I mean, Robert Kraft, 11.8 billion. Jerry Jones, 16.2. And a lot of that is not necessarily even from the team. You'd have to really dig deep into see how they get their money. But yeah, so it's pretty crazy. I mean, it is. I'm just more surprised that they were talking about this like this is like somehow new information. Like Nick actually really had to ask himself, why didn't he hire Bill Belichick? We know that like that is such a, we've known that answer. That's why there was never any chance that he was hiring Bill Belichick or a Harbaugh or even a Ben Johnson. Why didn't he go out and get Ben Johnson? Are you kidding me? Like, you can't make a play. If you the Dallas Cowboys, can't pay for Ben Johnson to make an offer, be like, come on, Ben, be a head coach here. Like it is hard to turn down being a head coach for the Dallas Cowboys. And so, yeah, I don't know, man. And it is a little frustrating because I'm always conflicted between, sometimes I want to cover things that it's always a balance between trying to figure out what I find interesting, and my logic is always like, what I find interesting, other people will find interesting, and if they don't, well, then they probably don't really want to watch me anyway. But then I also try to figure out like, what do other people want, and like sometimes I straight up ask you like, do you want me to keep covering Shedeur Sanders? Like, what about this story? Aaron Rodgers, this, that. It's just like, what do you guys like? What do you guys want? Because there's plenty of stories that I'll skip or that I don't find interesting, and then and sometimes people are like, oh, what about this? What about that? And it's like, okay, yeah, I guess I'll cover it. But it's like always kind of doing that dance. And there's many Dallas Cowboy stories that I'm just like, I'm just going to skip because it's not interesting to me. Like at the end of the day, like as much as I am interested by something like this in terms of just like how his mind is operating, from an actual football entertainment perspective, I actually really don't care. Like I think Colin has done a handful of Dallas things recently, and I'm just like I just don't care. I'm like whatever. And if we were in the season, if this was week 2 or week 3, and I got a Lions game to talk about and a Commanders game to talk about, and Jalen Hurts had a bad game, so everyone's talking about how bad he is, and you know, the Kansas City Chiefs are 2-2, and Lamar Jackson's 4-0. Like I'm talking about everything but this. Like I'm not drawn to that controversy. But I'll talk about it when it feels that the NFL world is talking about it, and it seems like, hey, there almost feels like sometimes like there would be like almost like an expectation. But from like a strictly entertainment standpoint, like I'm not drawn to this type of stuff. And then that's where my mind then goes, where I think to myself, I have to imagine other people aren't either. Which then makes me think, do we have this broken feedback loop where these shows are like, we got to talk about the Cowboys, and let's talk about this. And Jerry Jones like, see, I told you, when I stir up controversy, you guys talk about it. And it's just like, the shows do, but like, do the people really care that much? I feel like we all almost get tricked a little bit. Because like I said, if there was more going on right now, it's like, I wouldn't even remotely cover this. And if they weren't talking about it, I wouldn't be like, oh, did you hear what Jerry said? I gotta make a clip into that. Like there's so many other times that there's stories that are not being talked about that I go, I gotta find a way to make a clip about that. I gotta do a whole breakdown on this. Oh, I gotta discuss this. Oh, I'm definitely doing a deep dive in that. And then I go make a clip. Like things like this, I'm like, if they weren't talking about it, they open up the show with like Mahomes and Lamar and Jalen, whatever. I wouldn't be like, oh, aren't they going to talk about, you know, because there's sometimes, especially if I'm a little late to the show, I'm like, I'll try to be like, oh, I know they're going to be talking about that Lions game. That Lions game was crazy. And then I had to go try to hunt and try to find the clip. Like, I'm not doing that with a story like this for the Cowboys. I'm just not. So it's just, like, to even open the show with this, I'm just like, do people actually really care? Like, is it actually that important? You guys tell me. I'm genuinely curious. Genuinely curious. It's just like so many of these stories that come from Dallas Cowboys and all the things that Jerry Jones does to do his part. Like as he says, if we're not being looked at, I'll do my part to get us looked at. Like, are you actually entertained by that? Both Cowboys fans, which I assume not, but then just non-Cowboys fans, people who are just like, I'm here to consume football content. Like, do you actually find that entertaining? I'm straight up asking. I really would love to know. It would help me get a better understanding, honestly. Because my mind's like, I don't really care. But I am curious. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.